Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks a lot, Ken, and thank you for tuning into the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh. I'll be joined by Gene Collier in just a matter of moments, and we're taking your phone calls tonight on the Borders and Borders hotline. 412-575-2600 is the number. You can always tweet me at Richie Walsh. Anything you want to talk about, we're talking about the Steelers. We could potentially talk about the NFL came out with its ruling basically saying they're not going to change the roughing the passer. There's 34 of them so far this year through 3 games around the NFL. And that's up by 14 over last year, 18 from 2016. So definitely there's an emphasis on protecting the quarterback and an emphasis on throwing flags. It's slowing the games down. The players don't like it. Fans don't like it. Coaches don't like it. But they're trying to keep guys safe, Gene. And, El Riveron came out with that video today just trying to clarify what exactly is a good hit and what is a bad hit. And I can't really tell the difference, but I know you have to kind of tackle and roll over, essentially. That's
what it looks like from the sample videos. There were way too many of these penalties, in the first couple of weeks. But the quarterbacks are the most recognizable people in all the franchises. They're the focal point of all the action, all the scoring. The NFL really wants to protect them, but now they're starting to get defensive players hurt because they don't know how to make this play. So, it's another one of these messes that the NFL gets itself into because it changes its own rules every season. You know this, Richie. Every offseason there are 4 or 5 rule changes, and on top of those rule changes, there are new instructions to the referee on how to interpret this rule and how to call this particular penalty. And it results in plays like the Jesse James play, like nobody knowing what a catch is anymore. Now nobody knows how to tackle the quarterback in conjunction with NFL rules. It's one of the things that makes the game annoying to watch. Yeah, I think it stinks right now. I hate it. I mean, seems like every play there is a flag. And, and half the time when you think a quarterback, they just touch them and they're throwing a flag now. And I understand what they're trying to do. They want to keep the game safer and, like you said, protect the quarterback because those are the stars. Those are what, puts people in the seats. But it's not the same game anymore. I mean, I was in a locker room this week and talking to guys like Bud Dupree, and he's trying to change his game and figuring out you have to kind of wrap the guy up and just don't put your weight on him and roll off of him or hit him on the side. And Cam Hayward he doesn't know. And it's like, I think it's a problem when guys don't know exactly how to catch or how to tackle. I think the players have done a really good job on the new helmet rule and the lowering the head rule. They seem to have just a short adjustment period during the preseason. But now that the season starts, you don't see that call very often, and it's because the players have adjusted. I know they'll adjust to this too, but I hope the referees adjust too, because what looks like a basic tackle cannot be roughing the quarterback. If you tackle him and part of you or all of you happens to fall on him, I think that's just within the inherent dangers of the game. I don't think you can go much beyond that unless you as some people have suggested, just tag the quarterback. Yeah, and that's what I think it's coming down to. I mean, Clay Matthews, he has got called for 2 of them so far, right, and they both look like good tackles. Last year they would have never been called, but I guess if you put your weight on the guy, they're going to throw a flag. Right. But sometimes you can't help it. That's where I'm confused, and it's just like this catch thing last year. No one seems to know whether it's a catch or not. No one seems to know if Richie, I think, I'm sorry to interrupt. That's okay. I think, if a quarterback is allowed to avoid a tackle, to jerk his shoulders, exert force one way or the other to avoid a tackle when he's sort of in the grasp, if you will, then a defensive player should be able to do anything he can to prevent him from doing that. Right? I 100% agree with you. It changes a lot of things, and it's an advantage now for the quarterback. Right. No question. And you're going to see a lot of, not saying that Ben did it or some other quarterbacks have done it, but there's going to be some embellishment. I mean, you see it in hockey all the time. Mm-hmm. So if a guy gets hit, they're going to go right to the ground. There's no question. I mean, that Pierre-Paul
it looked like he just kind of touched him, but Ben said it was his cast. So I don't know exactly, but it looked like, he might have, flopped for that one and acted a little bit. And I think that's eventually going to happen, and who knows what you're going to get. And this can determine an outcome of a game, kind of like the catch situation last year. And you don't want the NFL officials and referees to determine wins and losses. You want the players to do that. All right, we got to take a break. Back with phone calls. 412-575-2600 is the number on the Borders and Borders hotline, or you can reach out to me on Twitter. Back in 2 minutes.